Edmund Blackadder says, can you tell us the most and the least you ever made for wrestling a single match?
The most I ever made wrestling a single match was $5,000 in Puerto Rico. And that was the actual payoff, because I had bitched and moaned about some other payoffs I'd gotten. So they made this a big one. But the biggest payoff I ever got, I didn't wrestle. I managed my little boys, the Blue Brothers. I even forgot their names now.
Ron and Don.
Yeah, Ron and Don, but yeah, I don't know their names.
Oh,
the Blue Brothers.
Yeah, they were the Blue Brothers, Jacob and Eli Blue at the time, I think.
Jake and Eli Blue, right. I think I made, for WrestleMania, I don't know what it was, 10 or 11.
Wow.
I think it was $10,000.
I
actually checked back between Ron and Don. I think I made more money than they made. And they got hot as a mother hunter. I said, guys, I'm just telling you, I shouldn't tell you. You know, you get to telling what you made, and they can actually see it. Because they make you say, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Yeah. I think they made $7,500
each or together.
Each. Well, that was a pretty good payoff in whatever it was. So, if you want to look at it in today's value, it was probably close to 30 grand.
Yeah, not too far off, 25. Just because we didn't get the actual match. So you said a $5,000 payoff in PR. Do you know what year, and do you know who you were wrestling?
Oh, PR. Oh, yeah. I remember. It was in 1979. It was a stadium show outside, me and Frankie Lane versus Carlitos Colon, my good buddy, and
Hurricane Castillo.
I can't Hurricane remember. Castillo Senior.
Yes,
that was it, and it was a 18,000 seat stadium, and they actually. It was packed, just jammed from corner all the way to the ends on both sides. And it was about 20,000 people. And then there's more people coming through the gates or coming over the outfield walls. So when you get 20,000 people literally wanting to see you die, you have to be very, very careful. And I was as careful as I could be. I think we had one match. I think it may have been a week or two after this, it sold out too. But it was a match that it was inside at the inside stadium. And we went on last. I don't know why we went on last, because usually they would put us on fourth. And I asked them one day, and I've told this story before. I said, why do you guys put on your main match, or the match that drew the people? Why do you put it on fourth? He says, well, these people have a tendency to drink, and they drink a lot. He said, so if we wait to the end of the night, they will be stone cold, staggering drunk. And he says they're hard to control. They're hard for the police to control. So we walked out there on the floor, and I think it was the Rodriguez Stadium, the inside deal. I think it's what they called it then. We went on the floor, and it was 10 minutes before we could leave the floor to even start the way down because they hadn't cleared the way out. The fans had figured out, well, this is the way they're coming in. Let's get them on the way in. Man, they beat the living shit out of me on the way to the ring. I had a poncho, so I'd put the poncho up in a hat, but that shit was... See, the cops hated it because they get hit. They don't hit me so much as they hit the cops. So we get in the ring, and it was supposed to be a barbed wire match. The ring surrounded by barbed wire. And I always thought that was illegal in Puerto Rico. I mean, I'm not a stickler for the facts now, but it was. And they couldn't put the ring up because it was banned. So we just started fighting, and they pulled out some of the barbed wire. We never even messed with it. And we went about, I mean, the people were loud. God. So the match was over. I forgot. They won. They pinned me. Or, you know, you talk about guys not wanting to lose in important matches. Yeah, I wanted to lose. I wanted to lose and get it over with and get me the F out of here, please. So when it was over, we thought we were going to leave. That's the key phrase. We thought we were going to leave. But the fans had a different thought. No, we're going to delay you and try to kill you. That's what they did. So it took us at least 10 minutes to get from that ring. And it was only like, I would say it's 150 feet to the door. Took us 10 minutes to go 150 feet. And it was fighting the whole way. And here come a punch, and I'd throw a punch out, and, you know, and it would become something else. And it was rough. So we got in the back, and I laid down. I said, oh, I'm glad it's over. But then guess what? It wasn't over. They waited for us outside. And the police come up and they said, you know, Dutch, you know, they can speak English. Hey, we don't advise you to go outside for another couple of hours. Why? Well, they found out the car you guys are in. And they trying to do all kind of stuff to your car. I said, okay. So we tried to go out probably about, matches were over at 12. I think we tried to go out maybe 2:30 because the cops finally said, screw it. I'm not on the clock no more. I'm leaving. So they took off, and here we was trying to make our way to the car. And the whole time I'd carried like a iron, like that's what they pour iron concrete around. Mm. And it was like, had little round rivets around it. But it was hard, is what I wanted. So I carried that out with me, and people throwing stuff, and I'm trying to hit people, and we finally left. I got home that morning, and I lived about, I don't know, if you took a straight shot, I lived about 20 minutes from the stadium. I got in at like 4:30. Crazy. But
I've got a fun fact for you, Dutch, is that $5,000 in 1979 and $11,000 in 1995 both equal, within about $20 of each other, $22,000 in today's money. So how amazing is that? I mean, that they've sort of worked out as almost the exact same number there. Before we get off this, Dutch, we've had the best payoffs. aside from someone stiffing you and just not paying you, so that'd be zero, what are the minimums you have agreed to work for?
Oh, the minimum's 300, 400, 500. But to get some of that stuff, to get a $500 payoff, these guys, they're not making any money anyway. So if you take their money, they're not going to make any money. So what the wrestlers did, they would take a decent payoff, save $300, $400, and then you clean up on that by running your own, merchandise table. And if you don't make the 500, well, the merchandise table will help you get there. So, I mean, that's not killing anybody. It's the market working for me and the promoter. See, I've seen guys, they just try to nickel and dime these promoters to death. Well, yeah, you got to do this, you got to do that, and I want a room, and I want it at the Hilton. I wanted to have this and that. I tell those guys, go down to the Motel 6, and that's where you were staying last year. Stay there because you had to pay for it. You do that. So, and I don't blame these guys for wanting to be treated right and paid right, but some of them are just ridiculous. Some of them are crazy.
See, that's an independent thing, so $300, $400, $500. But as far as USWA, for example, when the bottom really fell out of the business and just no one was making anything, there was the much vaunted $40 a night guarantee. Did Jerry ever pay you as little as $40 a night for a match?
Well, I'm sure he has, maybe 50. I don't remember it because I'm not going to work for that. The reason I'm not going to work for that is I can't work for that. I wouldn't even pay my gas because, and if he said you're here, I said I'm not. I'd always tell him I'm not going to be there. Why not? I said, well, you don't pay enough. I said, hell, we're down to where and I would call around and get me another job and I'd leave. That's how it worked.